In 41, I was only 14, and when Pearl Harbor, was bombed, well, all the men were outraged. I mean, the whole country was outraged, and everybody flocked to get in the military, to retaliate. We had to do something, and so I was just inspired to do that. I mean, it was just something you had to do, love a country. I chose to get into the military at a very young age. I was only 16 years old, and I tried to enlist in the Navy, but they wanted proof of the birth certificate, and I couldn't get away with that. So shortly after approaching my 17th birthday, I was visiting with some friends down in Virginia, and I got the notion that I could probably lie my age and tell them I was 18 and register for the draft and get drafted. I was with the E Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Marines, and then on Guadalcanal they formed the 6th Marine Division. We left Guadalcanal, I would say sometime in March of 45, and went ashore in Okinawa April 1st. It was Easter Sunday, it was April 1st, and it was our D-Day, if you want to call it D-Day. The morning of the 13th began rather quietly. We had encountered the Japs a day or two ahead of time. They had an upper level advantage over us, and so they were able to fire down at will at us, and we had to sneak up on them. So we were going up quietly as we could. Our lead man, our point man, saw someone run, and he shot it. That shot gave us away, and of course they were ready for us, and it wasn't very much longer as we moved further in. He came over a little encounter, and they had an automatic weapon just on the downside of it. They just literally cut him in half right at the waist. You have to forgive me. He was screaming. That's the only sound he made. He'd take a breath, scream, till he ran out of air. Well, I knew I had to get to him. There were snipers in the area, and they were firing at us. And I knew I had to take a shot at it, so I ran out. And I was running in this direction. He was about 20 or 30 yards away from me. As I was going out in that direction, there was a sniper in the tree here, and he hit me, first round that he hit me with. It stunned me, knocked the wind out of me, and I just, I didn't really know what happened. I mean, you hear so much going on, you don't really hear the bullet hit you. So I stooped over, and went, grunted like, and that gave him a chance to get a second round into me. Second round, of course, the paralysis, and it dropped me. Meanwhile, my main objection was getting to Lee. Now, I didn't have any legs, so I had to just use my arms, my forearms, and drag myself. So I dropped as much weight as I could in my backpack, and I only kept my medical pack, and I kept my canteens of water and things like that. And I dragged myself over to where he was. When I rolled him over, he had 3 big areas right across the middle there. And I went to open him up. I opened up his trousers, and his innards were coming out. I knew it was hopeless, and only thing I could do was just push him back together. I gave him morphine, and he quieted right down. And I just told him, I kept holding him, and I said, "Hold on, Lee, hold on." But he couldn't make it. About that time, my lieutenant, things quieted down a little bit. My lieutenant, some of the guys were hunkered down a little ways away. He called me, he asked me, could I get back? And I said, I don't think so. I knew I was running out of strength, and I didn't think I could make it back. With that, my friend Don, Corporal, Don Cornell, he ran out, and he scooped me up just like I was a little doll. Now, at that time, I weighed 155 pounds, and I probably had 10 or 15 pounds of gear with me, too, at that time. Well, he just scooped me up on the run, picked me up, turned around, ran back, and threw me over this little berm where they were and dove in with, after me, and he got me out of trouble. A group of guys decided they wanted to form a reunion association. So they were having annual reunions ever since then. My wish is being granted to attend a reunion of the 6th Marine Division. It's the 67th year since we were there.
Basically, we just received his application in the mail, which is how we receive a majority of our potential wishes. Sometimes various activities directors or people will fax us, but he actually mailed in.
As I read the criteria for to apply, it seemed like everything I met it and was satisfactory as far as what I met. When I got to the part about can you prove that you did any good deed for your neighbor or your friends or something like that, I thought, well, I guess taking a couple bullets for your country ought to qualify.
Twilight Wish started back in 2003, actually here in Bucks County. Cass Forkin, who was the founder, was having lunch at a diner and noticed a group of elderly women were counting their change to pay for their lunch, and she decided to anonymously go over and pay for it. They were adamant that they wanted to thank her in person, so they did end up meeting her, and they basically just said we thought nobody really cared about us or forgot about us, meaning seniors. And from that, Cass was inspired to begin the organization. If you're interested in getting a Twilight Wish granted, you need to fill out an application and send it into our office. Or if you know someone who you would like to nominate for a wish, you fill it out for them and send it into our office. To get involved with Twilight Wish, you go to our website, and all the information on volunteering is there. There's also information about all of our open wishes, and you can donate directly through the website.
Well, I would say it's the most wonderful experience that I've ever had. And this is a chance that once in a lifetime. My dream was to cross country by train, and then the reunion gave me a reason to cross country by train. So it's like two wishes are being fulfilled by this one gift. And of course they're funding the entire cost of this trip, which is, I'm humbled by it. I don't feel deserving of it.
You know what? It gets to your heart. It makes you feel so good. It makes you feel like you're making a difference.
I guess I'm a softie because I get very emotional. I get emotional singing our national anthem. I can't help that. That's just the way I am. And so I know there's going to be a lot of tears that day, but of joy.
A World War II veteran is on a cross-country trip of a lifetime tonight. James Hall of Burlington, New Jersey, boarded a train at 30th Street Station today. He's going to a Marine reunion in Portland, Oregon. He's 85 years old now. He was shot twice on Okinawa in 1945. He was only 16 when he lied about his age to join the Marines and fight for his country. But anyway, while he was wounded on Okinawa, he crawled over to help a fellow Marine, and that earned him a Purple Heart and Bronze Star. Hall's trip to the Marine reunion was paid for through donations to the Twilight Wish Foundation. Members of the group and another organization presented Mr. Hall with flags as well as good wishes for his trip.
This is a very exciting time. I get emotional very easily, and when I see all these people with the flags, it gets to me a bit.
Semper Fi, James Hall. The Twilight Foundation also paid for his friend to make the trip with him out west.